Hello, action hero fans. It's me, John McClane. You can tell by I look generally like bashed about from my fights, and also I've got my receding hairline and a vest. It's not the same colour you might know, but I have a vest. I tried, and that means nobody can criticise me. Yes, so for everyone who guessed on Twitter, congratulations. I'm John McClane. I don't have a sensible looking weapon prop, okay, so you'll just have to deal with that. Nor do I have good good stage makeup. So this is a delicate combination, I'm very resourceful, of charcoal from my garden and felt tip pen. Is it gonna stain my skin? Yeah. Is it worth it? No. I'm gonna do it anyway. A lot of what I'm doing for this channel isn't really worth it, but it is to me because it's fun. So I guess it is worth it technically. Let's not split hairs. What few I've got left as John McClane. Shady. So today's video, I'm going to rank all of the Die Hard movies as a Christmas special for the first day of Christmas month. First day of, is that Advent, I guess? The first day of Advent? First, because there's like a growing discourse among, I don't know, people that like Die Hard, that it's a Christmas movie because the first two take place at Christmas. Apparently, there'll be a lot of apparently in this video because I've never seen a single Die Hard movie. And what we're gonna do today is rank them all in order, out of 5, you know, a ranking system by which I will be using essentially the poster and the trailer to decide my favourite ones. Because I think that's enough information to go on, probably. I think you and I both know that from that I can extrapolate a lot from the plot. Not me specifically, I mean like anyone. Anyone could probably guess what happens in these movies. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rank the Die Hard movies, having never seen them before, and then you can use my expert, uninformed opinion to decide for yourselves what is what about them. Hi, my name is J-Turn. Obviously, I'm actually John McClane from the Die Hard movies, Die Hard and Die Hard 2 and Die Hard 3 to 5. And I'm making daily videos while I'm in lockdown. And also I stream on Saturdays. But like, anyway, I'm doing stuff. If you like the stuff, feel free to subscribe and like and share. So in at number 5, Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is apparently Die Hard 3. This one's got Samuel L. Jackson in it, and at first I was like, oh, that's really cool, I really love Samuel L. Jackson. And then John McClane started to say stuff in the trailer like, you just don't like me because I'm white. The poster also has only exclusively Bruce Willis in it, and so I have to resent any film that makes Samuel L. Jackson into a sidekick. I guess they tried to make it a buddy cop thing, and I'm going to assume it didn't work very well because he seems to be solo in all the other movies. So whatever gamble they took on this, I guess it didn't pay off. So last place. Also, did films really still look like this in 1995, right? Like, I was born just before that, and I feel like stuff looked better then. But I suppose I wouldn't have been watching stuff until I was like a few years after that. So I don't know, it just looks really, really old. Also, the bad guy is one of those faces where you're like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. And then you look him up and you're like, oh, he's got an extensive Wikipedia page. I've never actually seen him in anything. And then you find a little line at the bottom that says, oh, he was Scar in The Lion King, and you realise that's probably what you would know him from, but that's definitely not why you recognise his face. Maybe he's just got one of those faces that kind of looks like a selection of other actors. Jeremy Irons, that's his name, Jeremy Irons. Anyway, this film, Die Hard 3, what was the name? Die Hard with a Vengeance. Last place. In 4th place, we have Die Hard 4, or Live Free, Die Hard. Live Free or Die Hard. Like, that's a terrible title. That's a terrible title. Who's in charge of these things? Just call it Die Hard 4, at least that's direct. And the trailer's like, when the threat becomes real, some habits die hard. And it's like, What does that mean? What are you saying? That doesn't make any sense, mate. Like, were the threats up until now not real? Like, do the first two movies have some kind of crazy subversion that it's all in his head that I just wasn't aware of? Like, what do you mean when the threat becomes real? Also, part of what lifted this film out the bottom slot is that Bruce Willis has let go of his hair. It seems like this is the first one that he's bald in, and yeah, that was probably due. But then the trailer also has dropped the like voiceover guy from the voiceover of the trailer. There's like no voiceover to the trailer. It's just like graphics and choiry music and stuff like that. So I can only assume this movie undergoes a massive tone shift and becomes like much more dramatic and dark and I don't know. And also, Ramona Flowers is in this one. Maybe they're part of the same universe, and this is the film where she learns to fight with that hammer that she uses against Roxy Richter that she keeps in hammer space. Like, maybe. We can hope. In third place, we have Die Hard 2, which takes place in an airport, which, like, flicked a happy place in my brain because, you know, I used to travel a lot for work and ever since the pandemic happened, I haven't stepped foot in an airport. And yet again, this movie has a bad guy whose face I feel like I should know, but maybe he just looks like every other actor that plays bad guys because when I actually look him up on Wikipedia, I don't know him from anything. He's like known for, it's William Sadler, he's like known for a lot of things. Apparently he's like the president in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and he played, what was it? The Grim Reaper in Bill and Ted. But yeah, I didn't know him. But this one is apparently the second, it's set at Christmas again, that it doesn't seem like any of the first one set at Christmas. This one seems to be set at Christmas too. None of the others seem to be set at Christmas, which I think is a big loss if you ask me. Keep your gimmick and run with it. Make him a Christmas dude. And they highlight this in the trailer too. It's like, for John McClane, this is just another Christmas. And like that, I don't think that sells it in the way that you think it does. That makes it sound boring. Is he bored of this now? Then again, that like trailer voice, man, like I don't know. His voice is a little softer than in the first one, but it does sound like maybe it's the same guy. Probably not. But like, it sounds like maybe he's trying to soften this down and give it a little more inflection and maybe try and like broaden his character as the trailer voice guy. Maybe he's very involved in this movie. Who knows? Maybe he narrates the whole thing. Like, John saves the airport and his daughter is, the plane is, I don't know. I don't know what happens in it. I can't speculate on the plot because all I know is that it's the airport and there's like a plane that doesn't crash. But then like later on in the trailer you find out that his wife is on the plane. Ooh. So like, oh, and like he's got to save the airport before his wife's plane runs out of fuel and crashes because it can't land. Because all the lights are off. But again, like this trailer was really informative for how shitty everything still looked in the 90s, like graphic design wise. And then again, this would have probably predated like 90s prints, which are like known to be a bit loud and a bit, I don't know. That was number 3. Die Hard 2, number 3. Number 2, we have A Good Day to Die Hard. The title is terrible. It's terrible. Like it's not as bad as Live Free or Die Hard. Like this at least makes more sense. It seems to be like a real reference. Was the other one a real reference? I don't know. But like, who's titling these movies? How are you allowed to get away with it? This is like the most recent one, and then there's no more after that. So I assume it did poorly enough to kill the franchise, which bumped it up a couple of spots. Also, it has Ramona Flowers in it again, as well as Jai Courtney, who is obviously very good looking, so bumped it up a couple of spots. I'm a shallow man. I can't, what can I say? I'm shallow. Also, it's set in Russia because like I assume Russia is just an easy villain for America without them having to say they're not racist for setting it in a Middle Eastern place again. This trailer, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but it feels like I know absolutely nothing about the plot other than there's lots of explosions and it's in Russia. They don't really go into any of that. I mean, like, the trailer for Die Hard 1, no, we won't talk about that. We'll wait, because now you know what the top spot is. Anyway, like, John McClane says to his son, who is Jai Courtney, and is also called John McClane, but is actually called Jack, he says to him, like, do you need a hug? And Jai Courtney's like, we're not hugging family. And then he's like, damn right. And I'm like, hug your kid. Hug your kid. Hug your kid. So in the top spot, we have the last remaining Die Hard movie, Die Hard 1. And I just think that it's so camp, guys. Like, it's so camp. The whole trailer, if you go back and watch the trailer, fair enough, the trailer is from like 1988, right? But the trailer is just so over the top in a way that just doesn't, I mean, at the time, it probably did seem really cool because it was like really modern and everything. But like now, it has really aged into just being over the top. It has all of this like heightened, exaggerated kind of features that just don't hit anymore, don't hit the mark, which I guess is like cheesy as well, like synonymous with cheesy, I think. And this like got major trailer voice. It's like, it's Christmas. It's Christmas Eve in LA. New York cop John McClane is a family man. He was going to give his wife the perfect Christmas, but now he has to save her life. It's very retro. Oh, it's got Alan Rickman in it, looking young. Was this like one of his first roles, Alan Rickman? I don't know. And like the trailer has maybe, this might be a bit of an exaggeration, probably not, 1 million one-liners from Bruce Willis in it, of him just being like, look at what a cool, funny guy he is. Look how like in control and calm and collected and jokey he is. Look how likable he is. Everyone wants to be this dude. I feel like at some point in the movie, John McClane must swig beer out of a bottle. He must. Surely that happens. I feel like I want to watch. I want to watch Die Hard now just to find out if he swigs beer from a glass bottle. Also, the trailer feels long. It feels really long. Like I didn't really check the time codes because I watched a compilation of like all of the trailers in one video. But that trailer felt long. It felt like basically the cliff notes of the whole film, bar like the immediate end. Purely for my own enjoyment of the cheesiness, of the like over exaggeration. Just like how heightened dumb it is, right? How it's clearly such a precursor for all these kind of tropes in future action movies, without even having seen it. And also just the fact that there's this like weird debate every year that it brings up of like, is it a Christmas movie? And then angry people being like, of course it's not a Christmas movie. I love that. I love that for Die Hard, that it's causing these conversations about what counts as a Christmas movie. Obviously, it's not a scratch on my favourite Christmas movie, which is The Grinch, 2000, a true work of true art, which this clearly isn't. Clearly, The Grinch deserves more accolades than Die Hard, but you're not ready for that conversation. And I'm not ready to give it to you, because I'd probably have to come up with some good reasons why. Anyway, that's my ranking of the 5 Die Hard movies, having never seen them. I am not a big action movies guy. Don't know if that came across. But what I am is going. Okay, bye.